Oh, sorry.
Oh, recording in progress.
Okay.
Got it.
Hello.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
Great. We're
Good.
getting better.
Yeah. I'm doing good. Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself?
All right. My name is Tyszka. That's Tyszka, rhymes with Fishka. It's a Polish name. Otherwise, I'm known as Ted, the talking stamp collector.
I like your last name. Yeah, I never really knew how to pronounce that. Thanks. Okay. So, how did you get into collecting?
Well, when I grew up, mail was everything then. But oddly enough, I knew nothing about stamps. I mean, I knew about stamps, but all I knew about were the little George Washington and Abraham Lincoln coil stamps and booklet stamps.
Yeah.
And I never gave it a thought. I had no idea there were even commemoratives at the time.
Yeah.
We even got mail from relatives in Germany, and I never paid attention to the stamps on those letters. So what happened in 1974, I was 19 and I joined the Air Force.
Oh, cool. My uncle's part of the Air Force.
Oh yeah.
Or used to be, I forgot.
And in my first assignment out of tech school, I met a guy who just one day he happened to mention that he was a stamp collector. And I said, oh, that's cool. I'd like to see him sometime. So I went up to his room and he pulled an album off of his shelf and opened it up. And the first page was Australia, all the kangaroo stamps.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And I don't even know what else I might have looked at. It's just those Australian blues that stick in my mind.
Yeah.
And that got me interested. And so then I found a stamp shop in town, got me a subscription to Lynn Stamp News, and I was off to the races.
Nice. Yeah.
Oddly enough, though, this guy that showed me his album, we never talked stamps anymore after that.
Oh, wow.
We knew each other, but we weren't friends. He hung out with guys, I hung out with my own friends, and we never talked stamps again.
Did you have any other friends that collected stamps?
Not at that place. From that site, from that assignment, I went to Alaska, and then from Alaska, I went to a radar station in Michigan. And in my workshop, I did find a coworker, a buddy who collected stamps, and we became pretty good friends, and we're still friends on Facebook, but he doesn't collect stamps anymore. But yeah, we were pretty heavy, both into stamps, and we'd go drive an hour over to the Tri-Cities in Michigan, and we'd spend a whole day going from Flint to Saginaw to whatever the third city is. And we'd visit all the stamp stores we could find.
Nice. Okay, the next question is...
Can't do that these days, no more stamp shops.
Yeah, actually we do have a stamp shop here where I live in Redlands, but it's more of a coin shop than a stamp shop.
I hate that.
Yeah. They do have a giant bin of stamps for 2 cents each. And I found a US stamp, because they said most of them are used, but I found a 3-cent US stamp that was unused, so I technically gave a cent.
That's cool.
Yeah. In fact, my next video is actually about, the next episode for my season is going to be about a stamp that I found in that bin.
Well, Bob from Bob Collects Stamps, do you watch him?
Yeah.
That's his favorite area. He loves the 3-cent US stamps from that time period.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Yeah. Anyways, how did you start your YouTube channel about stamps?
Yeah, well, that started in February of a year and a half ago. I was on YouTube looking for stamp content, And I already knew about the podcast called Stamp Show Here Today.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah. And well, they were on YouTube, except all it was just the audio of their podcast. No, just the title, and then you listen. But I'd already heard all the podcasts already. Earlier that year, I had visited China with my wife. My wife's from China, and we visited her family, but I can't speak the language, and they can't speak mine. And I'd spend a lot of time. I had downloaded a lot of the episodes of Stamp Show Here Today and listened to them over there. So anyways, I already knew that. So when I came across them on YouTube, there was nothing new for me there. The only other channels I found, there was the APS, American Philatelic Society's channel. And other than that, there were a couple of goofy ones where people just show their stamps and tell you this is rare and valuable. It's a dirt cheap 3-cent stamp. Oh, sorry, no offense. No, I said these.
I mean, I don't
know what the.
Sorry, keep going. You can keep
going.
Oh,
I was just saying, what are these guys talking about?
Just found it and got it.
Yeah. So, and then I came across, guess who? Graham.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Graham back, and I said, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. The quality, the professionalism of his program. I said, this is cool. And I saw that he had 10,000 subscribers at the time. I think it was about that. And so I said, yeah, see, there's a lot of people like me looking for stamp information on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I figured, well, if no one else is going to do it besides Graham, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Graham was how I sort of started it too.
Yeah, he's a epitome, the definition of YouTube influenza.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for the next question?
Okay. Talk me into it.
Okay. What are some of your favorite stamps, and why are they your favorite?
Well, my sentimental favorite stamp is that block of 4 of the Boston Tea Party. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
From the bicentennial.
I think I have like 1 or 2 of them, but they're not connected.
So yeah, that's one that I first found when I first started. And like I said, I hadn't even known about commemoratives at the time. And then I saw this block of 4 with a continuous design across all 4. Wow, that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So, and then early on, I got really attracted to the engraved stamps from British Africa.
Wait, what type of stamps?
Engraved.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
From the British African colonies and the French African colonies.
Yeah.
So those have been my forever favorites, and even now, engraved stamps are my favorites. Especially, I collect specifically Czesław Słania. He's a Polish engraver, and he died in 2005. But my current favorite, his name is Martin Merck. He's from Scandinavia. He's
Wait, is he on a stamp, were you saying?
I'm sorry?
Is this guy you're talking about on the stamp?
No, he engraves the stamps. He engraves the dies that the stamps are made from. So, and when you see an engraved stamp, you'll see in the bottom corner usually a name. That's the name. Oh, the picture's backwards. Okay. On the right side of the bottom of the stamp, you'll see a name, and that's usually the engraver of the stamp. So it's easy to find his stamps. And like I said, right now, Martin Merck, he's from Scandinavia. I think he lives in Denmark, but his parents were Norwegian, and then he worked for I don't know. But he's involved with all 3 companies, all 3 countries, and he does some fantastic work. He was scheduled to be at the Great American Stamp Show this past July was it? And I wasn't able to make the show, but then it turned out he wasn't either because of travel restrictions.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Yeah. Speaking of engraved stamps, one of my favorite stamps I have is actually engraved. I keep it in the stamp wallet. I don't have my tweezers with me, so I'll be careful, but I'll show you. It's a it says Republic de Panama. It's
Panama, oh yeah.
Panama stamp.
Yeah, look, let's see on the bottom. I don't think that one says it. A lot of the Latin American countries around that time period, their stamps were produced by the American Banknote Company.
Yeah, that's this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it says American Bank Company.
Yes, and I love those too. Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah. Okay, ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
Okay. You could go to a place on a stamp. Where would it be?
It's kind of easy because, okay, going back to my old days, back in 1984, my mother's German. She was born and raised in Germany. In 1984, I finally got the chance to go there on my own and visit my family, my mother's side of the family. And actually, as it turned out, my mother was there at the time also. And had a lot of fun. And then the next year, in 1985, I went to Poland because that's my dad's side of the family. I went there and visited family, and that was pretty cool too. And then after that, I said, okay, now I have family obligations out of the way. Next year, I'm going someplace I want to go. And I was also always fascinated with, Africa, the wild animals. I said, I was going to take a safari trip, not a shooting safari, but, an adventure trip to the Okavango Delta. I had even ordered all the travel brochures and everything. I was ready. But I worked for a defense contractor called Ford Aerospace, and our contract got canceled by the Department of Defense, and I got laid off. So that kind of put the kibosh on the plans for that trip, and the opportunity never arose again. So lately I've started collecting the stamps of Botswana. And Botswana is where the Okavango Delta goes into Botswana, as well as the Kalahari Desert. And looking at these stamps, it's just rekindled all that interest again. I'd really like to go and visit that place.
Yeah, that seems cool. Do you have any questions you would like to ask me?
Yeah, I do. I guess I don't. No. So what are your latest collecting interests? I know you do Seychelles.
Yeah, Seychelles is one of my big ones from the beginning. My latest collecting interests, I don't know. I'm looking at my little stamp wallet to see if. Okay, maybe North Borneo, but.
Oh yeah, I like them too.
It's sort of been a collecting interest for a couple months now, maybe like 2 months. So not that late.
So how long have you been collecting altogether now?
Oh, altogether?
Yeah.
Since, I believe May, I started collecting.
Cool.
May of 2020, or maybe a month before May. I don't know. I think it was in the early 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So what, your dad or grandfather, someone got you started?
No, I actually none of my relatives really collect stamps. My grandma collected stamps off of her mail, but how I got into collecting was there's this series of books I liked, so I searched for more, and then I found one by the same publisher, and it was about stamps. And I always liked stamps, but I never knew that you could get all into collecting them. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I got.
Yeah, that was like me. I grew up without a clue about stamps. Although I grew up being a collector of things. I collected comic books at first, and when I was younger, back in the '60s, I saved all my Superman and Action Comics and Green Lantern, and I even took care of them, you know. And
Yeah.
one day, I think I was probably about 16 years old, and I thought, oh, I better start acting more like a like
Wait,
a
what was that?
adult or something, and I got rid of all my comics.
Oh, yeah. Too bad.
But then I picked it up again in the 80s.
Oh,
I
that
still
was,
have thousands of comics now. I'm trying to complete a run of Action Comics.
oh yeah, the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't do so much those anymore either because, well, I don't have enough money to spread around between comics, books, and stamps,
Yeah.
and they take up a lot of room.
Yeah. That too. I mean, stamps don't take up like so much room, but like books and comics take.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh yeah, you collect books too, you said.
Yeah.
Before the 2000s.
I'm not like a super big book collector, but if I see a cool book, I can get it. I'll get it if it's cheap. Yeah.
Hardy Boys.
Yeah, Hardy Boys. I have another question that popped in my head about stamps.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? What stamp do you think cost you the most? Like to
Cost
get?
me the most?
Yeah.
What's the most I've spent on a stamp?
Mhm.
I can tell you exactly. It was, I wish I could grab it real quick. A C-13 Zeppelin.
Oh.
The low value of the Zeppelin Zet, of the Zeppelin set.
Yeah.
I saw it on an auction on Hip Stamp with a starting bid of $99. And it was beautiful condition, beautifully centered. And I just, for grins and giggles, I put an opening bid on it, just knowing it would be bid up way out of my range. Lo and behold, no one else bid on it.
Wow.
And I picked up this beautiful stamp for $99, and that's the most I've ever spent on a single stamp.
Yeah.
And I hardly spent not even that much on other ones. And I'm one who I tend to prefer getting a lot of stamps rather than.
Wait, can you repeat it again?
I'm one of those that, you know, kind of tends towards preferring a lot of stamps in my album, filling in a lot of spaces rather than trying to get a few, you know, super expensive ones.
Yeah. I always, if I see an old US stamp, I'll get it. I mean, I won't always get it, but sometimes I'll try getting an expensive stamp that I really like on an auction on Hip Stamp. Because usually
on your Christmas wish list.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they have American auctions like Rosenberg Philatatalks.
Yeah.
But his shipping is pretty expensive, like $4 to ship a stamp. I bought one thing from him. I actually have it. The black stamp.
Oh yeah.
It's the hardship of immigration, I think. Yeah. From a set of the Trans-Mississippi series.
The Trans-Mississippi.
Yeah, I like that series, especially the cow stamp with the cow stamp.
Trans-Mississippi, Pan American series is a nice one too. Those little ones. I got one of those Pan American stamps from Rosenberg auction. I should have had some stamps ready to share with you.
Oh, that's okay.
Anyways, so let's see what else.
What else?
I'm just trying to think what else. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question.
You have any topics you collect?
Topics? Like topical, yeah. I like military themed. You know, when I first started collecting stamps, I always thought I wasn't going to do country by country, but that's the main thing I do. I do some topical. I like boats, ships, planes, vehicles, and some animals. Yeah, I like animals and military. Yeah, so those are my main topics. But yeah.
Yeah, when I started, and for the longest time, I didn't do topical collecting because I thought that was the wrong focus for a stamp collector. Are you collecting these items, the topics, or are you interested in the stamps? But then it's probably just within the past 10 years, I changed my mind. I said, well, topical collecting is a good way to collect worldwide without having a million stamps you have to collect. So yeah, I really like that now, and I do accordions on stamps. I took accordion lessons as a kid.
Oh, cool. What are accordions again? Those
squeeze box.
Yeah, those things are cool.
Polkas and and I do collect classical music on stamps.
Oh, cool.
Beethoven, Mozart, and stuff like that.
Yeah. One stamp?
And literature, books and authors. So
I have a Peter Rabbit stamp.
Oh yeah.
Literature thing.
Beatrix Potter.
Yeah. And there's this mistake stamp that was commemorated for this classical composer's birthday, but they accidentally put the wrong sheet of music.
Yeah, that was the Schubert stamp.
Yeah.
Was it Schumann? Yeah, but
I don't think it's
from East Germany.
Yeah, East Germany.
Hey, I do have that one here. Let's see. I can't get through it. Carry on. No.
Yeah. And the stamp is not that too expensive, I don't think.
No, it's not.
Yeah, only like $10 when I checked for it.
That's something I've area I've picked up on recently too, starting to collect inexpensive error stamps.
Yeah. Because like there's some really expensive error stamps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But error stamps are sort of cool, yeah, because like the post office that made the mistake. Okay. Have any more questions for me?
How you doing in school? Or are you homeschooled, right?
Yeah, homeschooled. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. We do.
You get good grades because your teacher's favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. My sister also is homeschooled. My younger sister. We do go to this like homeschooler group with 80 families. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So today I went, but I came back from it like hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. So yeah. I did science today in that class. It's sort of like a school, but for homeschoolers.
Yeah. It's homeschool school.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well.
One of my my questions was going to be, so when you first started collecting, was there something that you when like in the 1970s when you first started collecting, was there something that you collected or just anything?
Like I said, I got attracted to the British African ones.
Oh yeah.
Of course, U.S. starting with the 3-cent stamps because you could get them all day long for 5 cents. Or actually, I remember going to one shop and picking up a zillion of them for 3 cents each.
Oh.
You could still buy the whole sheets back then, which I didn't though. But you could buy the whole sheet for less than face value.
Nice. Yeah, my stamp shop, they have some modern sheets of stamps, and you can buy them for like modern U.S. stamps. You can buy them for less than face value. Yeah.
And then let's see, that was what, 74, 75. The Channel Islands, Guernsey, Jersey, and then the Isle of Man, they had all recently started issuing their own stamps. I think in 72 or 70 or 72, I should know that, but anyways, and they caught my attention at that time, and I actually went out and bought a specific album for the Channel Islands.
Oh, cool.
And it was the album, the company was called White Ace, and that was like the Cadillac of stamp albums, and they put out really high quality pages.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really the first country I specialized in, or countries, or
Yeah.
Channel Islands.
I sort of recently, got an album, a U.S. stamp album, the H.E. Harris stamp album.
Harris,
Yeah, from the 1970s. Mallard Stamps gave it to me.
Huh.
He said he didn't need it. And so I started filling up stamps. And I got, I think it's US $3.99 or something like that. It's the Henry Clay from the 1902 series. And I like US Henry Clay stamps a lot.
Huh.
Yeah. And I like the olive green colored ones. And usually it's either a blue or olive green colored he's in. So I sort of am collecting those. But yeah, they're rare, so they're more expensive. But yeah. Well, I did get this one for $12, but usually, the catalog value is like $180, but it was in the condition. It was probably more like $60. But yeah, it said it was mint, although it was on a piece of it looked like it was soaked up of a piece of paper, so maybe it went through the post office, but they didn't postmark it because sometimes they won't do that.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder why sometimes I'll get stuff in the mail and they won't even postmark the stamp. It's happened like more often recently.
Especially on packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of stamps I'd like to add to my album, but then they come with no, like I said, no cancellation. It's no fun. No cancel, no fun.
Yeah. Do you like mint or used stamps? Like, which one do you collect more?
Well, since I like engraved stamps and I like them for their beauty, for the artwork, I prefer mint stamps.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stamps that I do like to get used, especially if the used value is higher than the mint value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You like to have the better stuff in your collection.
Yeah. I do like the stamp. I don't even know if it's still available, but there's this town called Tonopah in Nevada, but not a lot of people have heard of it because there's very low population, like very low population. Well, anyways, I like the town because we went there one time and sort of want to move there, but I found a stamp and it was postmarked in Tonopah and it's $7. So yeah, it's a US stamp. So that's when I would probably collect used. Or if it's cheaper and I really like the stamp, I'll probably get used if I can afford the mint version and I want still a version of the stamp. Yeah. Anyway.
You ever thought of,
No, you go on.
Have you ever thought about making a stamp calendar, a cancellation calendar, where you make pages of every month, and then you find stamps that have a cancellation, a nice clear circular date stamp where you can read the date and you fill in that square on your calendar and you try to fill in every date.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
And with the stamp calendar, would you write like let's say you want to collect stamp, would you write 1981 if you wanted to collect stamps with that day from 1981?
I wouldn't go that specific because it's hard enough finding all the dates for any year.
Yeah.
Much less trying to find them for a single year.
Yeah.
And as it is, I'm doing it for a certain type of stamp. The classic German stamp with that Germania figure on it.
I don't really collect German stamps, so
So yeah, I'm just using strictly those stamps.
Yeah.
Finding the dates.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Do you tend to use Hipstamp or eBay more often when buying stamps?
I hardly ever go to eBay anymore. One reason is that because there's so much overlap. Most of the dealers a great majority of the dealers are on Hipstamp, are on eBay. So if I go to eBay, I'm just looking at their stuff anyways.
Yeah.
And then I have a hip stamp store of my own, and I, just basically, it fills all my needs. Whenever whatever stamp I'm looking for, I'll usually find it on hip stamp, and for cheaper than eBay. If you find a dealer that's on both eBay and hip stamp, and then you look at their prices, most of the time they will have a lower price on hip stamp.
Oh, nice.
Because the fee, the subscription, the store subscriptions are cheaper, and the final value fees are less.
Nice.
Yeah.
With your hip stamp shop, would you say you get, like, how much business would you say you get?
Well, it suits me for where I'm at. I have a small inventory, just a little over 3,000 stamps listed online.
Yeah.
And I do enough business where it's all I can do to just keep scanning and listing more to replace the ones that I sell.
Yeah.
So yeah, that my inventory number doesn't go up very quickly because I sell them as quickly as I can list them.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah. Sort of wraps up our interview, I guess.
All right.
Unless you have anything else you want to say.
That's about it. I don't want to bore the people out there.
Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
We'll do this again sometime.
Yeah, it was fun.
If I can think of anything more to say.
Yeah. Next time we do it, I'd probably we could go more specific into a certain topic.
Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be fun.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you next time.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.